about Malta, where we will be talking mainly about Malta itself, working opportunities, visa concerns, the safety of the country itself, and then there is a section together with Mariana where she will be talking about the admissions process and also the process for visa in order for a student to be able to come to Malta. Hamali, I would appreciate if maybe we can share the presentation so that we can start this webinar.
Sure. Just because the control is easier with you, can you, is it possible to share at your end?
Yeah, of course, I'll share it. So. Okay, so we're going to start the presentation. Just to let you know a bit about the presentation, there is a short video about Malta. Then, of course, we have a video about GBS in general, starting from UK and then Dubai and Malta, and then the presentation itself will start. Of course, after this presentation, we will have an ample time for some questions and answers, so feel free to take any notes you would like to ask us at the end of the presentation. So this is the introduction video about Malta. As you all know, Malta is an island, it's a very small island, but in terms of culture, history, and places to visit, there's quite a lot of, history over here. I mean, we had the British colony here, for example, we had even the Libyan colony here, Arabs. So there's a lot of history in itself. And as we can see from this presentation, which was done by Visit Malta, there are immense places like Gozo, which is our sister island, Valletta, which is the capital city, and also Mdina, which is the old capital city. In the presentation, I will also be explaining to you places of interest where to go and also the working opportunities. So what you see here is Valletta, where we have this quite impressive church, which is located in the southern part of Valletta, and facing Valletta, there is Slima, which is more of a shopping complex, but also people normally go there for a nice walk on the promenade, and it's famous for shops like Zara, for example, and there's also a big shopping complex, and also famous with tourists because there's a lot of restaurants and also pubs. Now, the next video is about GBS in general, and then we will start the presentation going through the slides one by one.
We don't have the audio for this one. When you share, can you click on include computer sound?
Yes, let me just do it, please. So let me do it again. Okay. Okay.
Welcome to GBS, where we're changing lives through education.
GBS began in 2010 as a specialist training centre for finance and investment banking. Students around the world could access specialist courses both online and on campus. The move into higher education came in 2012 with a range of management courses for international students. Then, in 2016, we turned our attention to the Tower Hamlets borough of East London, where many prospective learners found themselves underserved and even ignored by more traditional colleges and universities. We wanted to challenge that and put an end to the idea that some people are just not suited to certain sectors because of backgrounds, demographics, or often because they simply don't possess the qualifications or haven't been to university. This was the start of our core GBS community and set us firmly on the path to realising our vision of changing lives through education. That GBS community is now an inclusive, compassionate, vibrant community of over 10,000 learners and educators. We offer a variety of undergraduate and postgraduate courses in business management, finance and healthcare, all in a flexible environment tailored to our students and their circumstances. We've formed partnerships with some highly respected educational institutions in the UK and have rapidly expanded into communities in the Midlands, North West and Yorkshire. At the same time, we've increased our reach and offering with English Path, our in-house language school. And it doesn't stop there. The GBS story is now an international one, with our new campuses in Dubai and Malta and other countries in the pipeline.
We meet people where they are and, through the transformational power of education, empower them to get where they want to be. Jobs are won, promotions are secured, new businesses are started. Step by step, year after year, communities are being transformed. And so the GBS story continues, changing lives through education.
So now the presentation of Malta, it starts practically from here, and the first slide is why Malta. As I said, Malta is, quite a small island. We have approximately 650,000 population here, and I must say that although Malta is quite a small island, unemployment rate in Malta is currently at 2.9%, and this, in my opinion, reflects most of the presentation because job opportunities in Malta are incredible. I mean, you can find job opportunities in hospitality industry, for example, financial sector, gaming industries, Google, for example, Lufthansa Technik, which is, the aviation sector, where we practically get Lufthansa airplanes here to get repaired and then sent back, for example, to Germany. It is the first EU state to regulate the online gaming and the blockchain industry. Malta is an incredible value English-speaking destination. We consider English as our second language. There are some people that also mention the fact that English is our main language as well. We also have our Maltese language, which is the official language that Maltese people speak between them. The international airport itself is connected to almost all major European cities. Just to give you an idea, Malta is exactly underneath Sicily. So in other words, a flight from Malta to Sicily, normally it takes around 20 minutes. And if you want to go to Rome, it's approximately an hour and a half flight. So in terms of connectivity, Malta, because it sits exactly in the center of the Mediterranean, it's very well located. It is one of the safest countries in the European Union. This is not something, coming from me because I'm Maltese. This is something that is reflected in surveys that are done on a yearly basis. The feedback I get even from some agents that come to see the school or students themselves, they tell me, listen, I was walking around Malta at 3 o'clock in the morning and I never felt this safe in my life. So this reflects one of the very good points that Malta is one of the safest countries. It has a lot of history and cultural heritage. Just a point on this one, we have the temples here, the Gigantia temples, which are even older than the pyramids in Egypt. So this, shows the cultural heritage and the long history we have as an island. In terms of regional average in 3 pillars, which are namely infrastructure, business sophistication, and creative outputs, we perform above the average. It is a sun-spoiled country almost all year round. I must say, we normally have 300 days of sun, and then we have, unfortunately, the remaining 65 days where normally the weather is a bit of, wintry weather with rain and wind. And it is one of the fastest growing country in terms of economic growth in Europe. Here we have some general information about Malta. I wanted to leave this point when it comes to COVID, because I know students sometimes do ask the information. In Malta, over 95% of the population is fully vaccinated. When I say fully vaccinated, it means with 3 doses. Having a COVID vaccine is no longer necessary to come to Malta, and you don't need to present any sort of certificates to come to Malta. So those restrictions are no longer applicable in Malta. But I just wanted to keep this slide here in order to give that peace of mind that, listen, Malta is, in terms of COVID vaccination, almost all population has been fully vaccinated. As I said, Malta has 2 official languages, which is the Maltese and English language. And this is very important because it means that students, both in campus and outside the campus, they will be able to all the time use English as their spoken language. In terms of visa process, which Mariana, my colleague, will explain later on, it is quite a relative easy visa process. I would say in terms of visa refusal, normally the rate stays at somewhere between 10%, and those 10% visa refusals are normally because students do not hand in the correct or the updated documents. As I said before, it is among the safest countries in the European Union. The next point is a very important point. Back in October of last year, the government of Malta announced that public transport is now free of charge for Maltese people and also third country nationals. It is the second country in Europe to introduce such amazing scheme. The reason behind this is, of course, because the government would like more people to start using public buses in order to reduce the volume of cars that we have on the roads on a daily basis. To give you an indication about this important thing, I think if you had to use the bus every day, Monday to Sunday, you are saving around 600 euros per year. So that is quite a good, offer for students and Maltese, because in the end, you'll be saving 600 euros per year. As I said, we have a Mediterranean climate. In winter, when we have that mild winter, it can get a bit cold, but then in summer, especially August, we can have temperatures of 38, 40 degrees Celsius. So summer, it can be a bit tough, but of course, all public places in Malta and premises are fully air conditioned. So, you cannot stay without air conditioning in Malta, so it's a must to have in place. The last point is very important, and we will discuss in the next slides, is that students in Malta can work a total of 20 hours per week whilst studying in Malta. Back in 2011, students weren't allowed to work, but then as soon as we had a change in government, the government said, listen, it makes sense that students that are here, especially for a long time, they work so that like this, they can generate some sort of income and be able to live in Malta quite comfortably. Over here, I wanted to add some information about the cost of living. I know students ask quite a lot about the cost of living in Malta. It's an island, as I said, so there might be some things that, you might find maybe a bit expensive. So for example, if you had to eat in one of the expensive area of the city, like for example, you would like to have lunch, you are looking at somewhere around between 20 and 30 euros per person. The next one is a very important point, is if you would like to rent a 1-bedroom apartment. When we say apartment in Malta, it means that all the apartment will be yours. Here we are not saying a sharing apartment, but this means you will have your own door, your own kitchen, your own bedroom, your own bathroom, and you are responsible for that apartment. You are looking at somewhere between 650 and 700 euros per month. Of course, this depends the area where the apartment is located, but areas which are normally close to school, you are looking at 650, 700 per month. If on the other hand, a student would like to share a room, then we are looking at somewhere between 500 euros per month. Mobile subscription, keep in mind that any person coming from outside the EU zone, we always recommend students to change the number to a Maltese number. And I wanted to add on this one that students that will be attending our higher education courses will be given a free local SIM card, and then the student just needs to top up the SIM card with some sort of credit. But you'll be saving around 10 euros because normally the SIM card from a shop costs 10 euros. So mobile subscription, where you will have free data and unlimited calls, you are looking somewhere around 25 per month. And the average cost of living, in order to be able to live a comfortable life in Malta, you are looking at somewhere around 1,200 per month. Minimum wage is 182.83 euros per week. Again, you will never find these jobs because nobody nowadays pays the minimum wage. But I just wanted to put it there because I'm sure most of you will find this information on Google. Average salary in Malta, 1,500 euros per month, but there are other sectors where they can pay quite high rates, and I will explain later on. Fuel price in Malta, I think it's the cheapest one compared to Europe because of hedging agreement between the government and the fuel supplier. We are at the moment at €1.34 per litre. Now, here is a slide about us. The picture you see on this slide is practically our facade. We have 3 floors. We have the top floor, the 5th floor, and the 4th floor, where we are saying that we are a global banking school, having campuses in London, Manchester, Birmingham, Leeds, Dubai, and Malta. And one of the most important points is our objective, where we are helping students thrive in today's competitive job market. And our aim is that higher education students attending courses in Malta will also find jobs that respect their studying. So we don't want students over here that are studying, for example, in Masters and Business and Management, doing a low-level job, but we would like our students to find jobs related to their studying. This is a note about why GBS Malta. Our campus is located in St. Julian's. Now, St. Julian's is quite a central location. 5 minutes, away from our campus, we have a nice sandy beach. We are exactly located next to the bus terminus. So actually the bus stops exactly near the campus. Next to the school, there are various restaurants, pubs, job opportunities, because we have a lot of business centers here where students can easily find jobs. One of them is, for example, FinBank, which is an international banking sector. And our campus is equipped with 11 classrooms. They are all equipped with the latest technology for teaching, including smart screens, dedicated spaces for study, research, socializing, because we also have the terrace, which you will see later on in one of the photos, and we also have a library on the campus. Our lecturers are experienced. We have lecturers both from local sector, but also lecturers from abroad, and all experts in their field. These are the academic levels, which practically reflect the UK academic levels, but also are in line with our Malta qualification framework, where, for example, in the case of Masters of Business and Management, we are looking at a level 7. So normally in Malta, we refer to it as MQF level 7. And for example, the BA course, that is a level 6 course. So our qualifications are in line with the Malta qualification framework. Now, this is the 4 courses that we have together with BASPA University, because we are in partnership with BASPA University, which is a UK university, and that means that the degree that a student will obtain at the end of the course is an international degree recognized both in Malta but also abroad. We have the BA Honours in Business and Management, MBA in Leadership, we have a Master's in Marketing and Brand Management, and a Master's in Business and Management. The logo of Get Qualified is a very important logo, which I will explain now exactly what the Get Qualified scheme is. The Get Qualified scheme is another government initiative in order to attract foreign people to come to Malta and study a higher education course. The Get Qualified is basically a scheme where a student, once he graduates and start working and living in Malta, he can get up to 70% as tax credit. So let's say the master's costs 7,000 euros. With this Get Qualified scheme, you are practically looking at a 3,200 euros master's, because the remaining amount will be given to you at the end of the year through the government. Keep in mind that anyone that works in Malta needs to pay national insurance and tax. So at the end of the year, you will receive a nice check at home, thanks to the government initiative, thanking you, in other words, for studying in Malta. This is, in my opinion, a very good selling point for Malta. It is an initiative that is only found in Malta, and the government's aim is to extend this scheme for a further 3 years. I tried it myself. It works. So I can vouch myself for this. It's an incredible opportunity because I cannot think of any place where you can study with a UK university for a master's, and at the end of the day, you'll just be paying 3,200 euros instead of 7,000. So normally the tax refund, you receive it at the end of the year, and it normally it happens in phases. So the first year you get a part of that fee, and then the second year you get the remaining fee. It's important that student stays in Malta and of course works in Malta. Here you can find some pictures of our campus. The first picture is the campus itself, where you can see the terrace on the 6th floor. Then we have the computer lab, where we have a total of 11 computers, connected to the internet and with the latest software, including Moodle. These are actual students, for taking part in this photo session. This is the lounge area, the next picture, where students can have coffee, water, or lunch. Then we have one of our students, sitting next to a beach located very close to school, 5 minutes walk, where you can have a nice coffee and enjoy the lovely weather. The next picture is an actual picture of our classrooms. The classrooms are quite big classrooms. They are around 40 square meters classrooms, and all equipped with the latest technology, air conditioning, ventilation system, and in line with our Malta Further Higher Education Authority rules and regulations. And the next picture is a student using the laptop connected to the Wi-Fi in order to do her assignments. Now, this part is the part where my colleague Mariana will explain to you. It's a part where it takes care of the admissions and the visa process.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now, yes, Mariana.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. Yeah, my name is Mariana. So I'm part of the admissions department. So I'm just going to go through the admissions process and then a little bit about the visa process. So when you apply, it doesn't matter which course you are applying for, which program. So there are a few documents that are required so we can accept your application. So you have to submit your passport, all your qualifications. Remember that we always need the final certificate. We cannot accept provisional certificates that are older than 2 years. So your final certificates, your transcripts, you have to prove your English proficiency. So there is a list of tests that we can accept that we always share with the applicants. And we also need your CV if you have any study gaps. So if you finished university over 2 or 3 years ago, then we need to know what you've been doing since you finished university. Once we receive all of these application, all these documents, it doesn't matter if it's through an agent or if you applied on the website, we're going to process your applications, and then your application, if more documents are required, we're going to contact you to request those documents. Can I see the next slide, Alan, please?
Of course.
So as I said, we do have a list of tests that we can accept. Anything that is not on the list, unfortunately, we cannot accept. Because I know in different countries, sometimes the courses, they are taught in English. However, again, if it's not on this list, we cannot accept the English test. So we do accept the IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo, which is the one that we always recommend just because it's very easy to take the test. It's online, it's not too expensive, and you get the results in 2 days. So that's the one we recommend. You just need to remember that there is a minimum requirement for each component. So as you can see here right now, so those are the requirements. So we say that, for example, for IELTS, the overall is 6, but you cannot get less than 5.5 in each component, which means that even though your overall is 6, if you got a score of 5 in reading, unfortunately, we're going to have to request you another test. So that's what it means, the overall and then the components. So you always have to achieve at least the minimum in each component. Yeah, I think that's it about the English test. Yeah. Okay, so as I said, first thing, you need to submit your application. And if you have an agent, we're going to receive your application through your agent. If you go on our website, we will receive your application the same way. Once we receive it, we're going to process, we're going to check all the documents that we just went through. If anything, if we need anything else, we're going to request you. As soon as we have at least the minimum documents that we need, we can send you an offer. So you can receive a conditional offer or an unconditional offer. If you receive a conditional offer, that means you are eligible for the course, but we are still waiting for a pending document. If we have a complete file, if we have all your documents, you will receive an unconditional offer. Once you receive the unconditional offer, so we start the visa, not the visa process, but we have to receive the payment of the tuition fee. But then at the same time, we start the visa process. So you will need to submit a few documents because, as Alan said, even though the number of rejections it's not really high, we always try and make sure that you will get your visa. So we're going to go through all the documents, even the letter that you have to submit to them. We're going to help you. We're going to help you with everything just to make sure that you will get the visa. So once we have all the documents that we need, we're going to issue you a visa support letter so you can make your application. We have a new system in place now. We are working with a few nationalities that we can offer you a premium service. However, that is not for all nationalities just now, but it is something that we can offer, so we can try and make that visa process a little bit easier for the applicants. And then, yeah, once you apply for your visa, we need to wait. But again, we're going to make everything we can to make sure that you will get that visa. I believe the next slide now is it will be the list of the documents that we need for the visa process. Oh, so before the type of visa, sorry, that you need. So if you are from a country that needs a visa, so the first step, you're going to apply for a 90 days visa, which we call a Schengen visa. So in your country, you have to go to the embassy or you have to go to one of the centers to apply for a Maltese visa. And then you're going to apply for this first 90 days visa. Once you arrive in Malta, for your enrollment for the first weeks, you're going to have those 90 days to apply for a residence permit. No, sorry, for is it a year? I forgot the name of the visa, Alan, sorry, if you could help me.
So practically, if they come here, they have like a 90-day visa, and then when they are in Malta, they can extend that to a national D visa, which is a long stay visa. So if students have a 90-day visa, I would suggest 4 weeks before the expiry of those 90 days. Of course, they go through the school. The student services team will explain to them the documents they need to submit to Identity Malta office at a local level, so here in Malta, and then that visa is extended, for the whole period of their course.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. So
Welcome.
within those 90 days, you're gonna have to apply for another day. So you need to extend your visa. It works just a little bit different if you are from one of the countries that you don't need to apply for those 90 days visa. So for example, Americas in general, if you're coming from South America, for example, you don't need to apply for that first visa. But then once you arrive in Malta, you need to apply for the second visa to stay for another year. And obviously, if you are European, then you don't need to apply for a visa at all. You just need to apply for a resident permit. I think that's the main difference. But then once you arrive in Malta, as Alan said, so you're going to have our support as well to extend your visa. And as I said, so after we receive after you pay for your course, we're going to send you a visa support letter, but we need to make sure that we have all your visa documents to, again, make sure that you will get that visa. So there is a list of documents that we need. So first of all, obviously, you need the visa support letter from us saying that you are coming to Malta because you will be studying with us. you need to pay the visa fee, and you will need a valid passport. And I think it's very important to it's important to stress here that your passport needs to be valid for the period that you're going to stay in Malta. So if you have a passport that is going to expire by the end of this year, you will need a new one. You will not be able to to get a visa because your passport needs to be valid for that period. You will also need 2 passport size photos for before you go for your appointment. And another very important thing is you need to have a return ticket. And that is for everyone. I mean, because I know I'm saying this for the applicants that are going to apply for a Schengen visa, but even if you are coming, as I said, from South America, you still need to, you are only allowed to fly into Malta if you have a return ticket. So just remember, don't buy a one-way ticket. You will also need a letter explain why you're going to Malta and how long you're going to stay there for. And that's another thing that I said, we're going to help you. So you are responsible for writing that letter, but we're going to read it. We're going to make sure that there is a good explanation, it's well written before you go for your appointment. Also, you need to prove that you have enough fundings for that year. So that's why they need a copy of your bank statement and a scan of your bank card. That's how you're going to prove that you have enough money to pay for your expenses in Malta for a year. Also, you're going to need proof of accommodation booked for 90 days. And travel insurance, I just want to say that we do provide those 2 things. So you can arrange your accommodation with us. We'll be more than happy. We'll be more than happy to help you with accommodation and the travel insurance. So if it is something that you are interested, just contact us because we can arrange all of this. I think I don't know if we can talk a little bit more about the accommodation, maybe, Alan.
Yeah, in fact, I was going to say something about accommodation because I think it's very important. Like Mariana said, we do also offer accommodation here. So for us, the idea of GBS is not just, to take care of tuition, but it's more like a one-stop shop where students with us can book both the higher education course itself, accommodation, insurance, as Mariana said, which is a very important document required for visa purposes, and we can also take care of airport transfers. So as soon as a student comes to Malta, there is someone waiting for the student, and we take him from there to our accommodation. I say the accommodation is a very important thing to book with the school, especially for the first few months, I would say for the first 90 days, for one valid reason. One of the financial requests for visa is, that you need to provide a financial statement showing that you have enough funds to stay in Malta. When you book accommodation with the school, instead of showing a 35 euros per day, you just need to show 18 euros per day. So it's almost half the required amount. So that is, in my opinion, a very important note for all of you to take. I would say for the first 90 days, because I do believe that once students are in Malta and they start exploring other accommodation options, then of course everyone is free to even book maybe a shared apartment with another student. But it's good for someone coming from abroad that as soon as he comes in Malta, there's the peace of mind that he has a modern accommodation. We work with one of a kind accommodation, an American style residence located 20 minutes from school, brand new. It is a 45 million euro investment by a private company, just launched last year. So in my opinion, when you go inside, you can still smell that fresh paint because it is a new building. So it's a must. We also offer shared apartments because as a school, we have 8, 9 apartments, which we take care of. So we take care of the check-ins, we take care of the cleaning, we take care of maintenance and everything. But in my opinion, especially for higher education students, I think the residence type of accommodation works much better because one can book a single room, for example, and that means you have your own room, your own bathroom, and if you want to study in the evening, you have no one that can disturb you during your studying. The residence has also a communion pool, which is an outdoor pool and can only be used by students. So I cannot, for example, go and use the pool. Students only staying in the residence can use it, apart from the fact that it has a massive studying area plus a gaming area, with table soccer and billiards. So it's one of a kind, and it's as well close to the bus terminus, 1 minute walk, and from there you just take one bus, 20 minutes, and you're right in the center of St. Julian's next to our campus. So as Mariana said, accommodation is a very important point, and we also partnered with an international insurance company in order to help you make the process easier when it comes to the visa process. Uh, I wanted to add something regarding job opportunities because I think it's a very important point before we open the floor for questions. In Malta, job opportunities are unique. I can say this from our English Path students. As you know, English Path, as was mentioned earlier in the video, English Path forms part of the GEDU group, and that is the English language school. At the moment in Malta, we have 327 students, and 90% of these students are all working in Malta in various sectors, hospitality industry, for example, gaming sectors. I have two students working in the gaming industry. When I say gaming, I mean Betson, Bwin, B365. These are all massive companies. Some of them are even official sponsors of international football teams. They are in Malta because in Malta they pay less tax, so it makes sense for them to open these establishments here. They employ 400, 500 people. Salaries are quite high in those kind of sectors. You are looking at mainly 1,500 euros as a startup salary, but if you have quite a high job, you are always looking at 60,000, 70,000 euros per year. I must say that we have two students that were approached by these companies, especially if you happen to know more than one language, because in Malta, since the main language is English and gaming industries are normally dealing with international market, if, for example, you know English, Portuguese, for example, Spanish, you will definitely find a fantastic job within these gaming industries. Then, of course, there is the financial sector. We also have Google offices here in Malta, Lufthansa Technique, as I said. So I believe when it comes to job opportunities for students, you will definitely find something that suits, of course, your needs. Something to add here, we will also be having international recruiting companies here coming to school monthly or twice a year, for example, in order to give talks to students and telling them the job opportunities that are in Malta and which sectors make sense to apply for a job, especially taking into account, for example, students studying for a master. So I believe, as I said, we have 2.9% unemployment rate at the moment, but I believe those 2.9% are because people either they don't want to work or they cannot work for health reasons, for example, because job opportunities are immense, starting from low-level jobs up to high managerial and director level. So this is when it comes to job opportunities. I wanted to add the final note when it comes to visa. The visa for Malta is a Schengen visa, and that means it's a very powerful visa. Students can travel throughout 26 countries without the need to apply for another visa. So basically, you can go to Sicily Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday you're back to school without the need to apply for another visa. So this in itself is a good opportunity for students. From our side, we always need to monitor attendance because since it's a very strong visa, we need to make sure the students are actually attending classes on a regular basis. Happy to start answering your questions. I mean, the more questions you have, the better for us, so that you keep us busy throughout this webinar.
C has a question. I'm unmuting him. Hasi,
Uh,
can you try to? Yeah, thank you.
yeah, yeah. Hi, Alan.
Hello.
Hi, I hope you're doing
Hello.
well. Yeah, actually, the thing is like recently I have applied for the premium visa, and is there is any separate team for the who can help us in filling the forms for the visa purposes? Because I'm finding out too much, very much difficult in finding those forms because it is pretty. Because it was my first time that I'm going abroad, and there is a bit lot of confusion for me, like what I have to write, what should be mentioned from my end. I'm not getting enough support here. I'm keeping on following upon on these issues, but at the same time, what happened? Like I have booked my ticket for the coming update. Sorry, coming intake that is on the 24th of April, and I need an assistance on the form filling things. There are two forms, so is there any other, what will say, visa supporting team who can help us easily rather than following upon on the one issue on the email. What exactly is happening, like, uh, while coming to the visa process, we can't wait for like entire day just to get an email, right? Rather than that, we can have a call, and we can just fill the form with the help of the visa team member. It can be sorted within 5 minutes rather than waiting for a reply from an email. That's what my question is. Because today I have contacted the GBS Malta for more than 5 to 6 times, and they was going on telling me that sir, we'll be arranging a call back, we'll be arranging a call back. But there was no but I haven't got any kind of call back from them. I
Yes,
hope
it
you
may
understand.
be. Yes, yes, yes. It's a valid point. I think if Mariana maybe can share the admissions email address in the chat, so that then, because we also have Ruth here, based in Malta, and she's always in touch with Identity Malta. So whether admissions, or Ruth, they can sure help you, and happy to have a call together with Ruth or Mariana in order to help you fill in the application.
Yeah, good. That's fine. Any helpline number for the visa?
I mean, we can share the email address, and then maybe Ruth can arrange a Teams call with you, in order to help you fill in the application. I'll share the her email address in the chat, later on.
Yeah, please.
Sure,
That's it from my.
no problem. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Sondes Garbi, I'm unmuting you. Can you help us with your doubt? He's put it on chat as well. Can you share, okay, the system. How much does a student make in a week if they work for 20 hours?
So
And
if they
yeah,
work for 20 hours, now again, over here, this depends, of course, on the kind of job that a student finds. But if you work 20 hours per week, in a month, you are normally looking at somewhere around 800 euros, 1,000 euros, per month. But again, this depends on which industry, one finds a job in. If you are going to try something, for example, in the financial sector, you'll of course be doing much more. But you know, if you're going to start, for example, with hospitality industry, and when I say hospitality industry, I'm not referring to waiter job, or a barman, but we are looking at positions like a marketing, kind of thing, a duty manager, for example, a front office person. So these kind of jobs, normally at 20 hours per week, you are looking at 800, 1,000 euros per month.
Sondes, I think he's trying to speak, but he's saying his mic is not working. We have unmuted you.
He's shy. You
He's
don't need to
trying
be
actually.
shy.
No, no, he's trying.
Sondes, pleasure to meet you.
I have allowed both camera and mic. Just try again.
To ask about accommodation. Yes, Sondes, we can hear you, but I think you need to shout a bit more, please.
I don't think we can hear her at all, right?
No.
I'll just read the chat from Sundays. Now I can hear someone. I wanted to ask about accommodation.
Mhm.
So Sandesh, we will be we'll address that query first. And the
Okay.
age difference, regarding the age difference, I'm in my early 40s. These two questions
So
from her.
yes, so there's a very good question. We have two types of rooms, to be honest. We have twin room option. So that means you can share the room with another student. Of course, it will be our student. So it can be an English path student, for example, or a GBS Malta student. However, we also have the option, as I said, of a single room where you will have your own room, your own bathroom and shower, so you have your own privacy. Of course, the apartments are all self-catering apartments, so that means there is a massive cluster kitchen on the same floor, where of course then students can meet in the kitchen, prepare their lunch, their breakfast, and so on, and have their lunch in the kitchen. But the room in itself is a one-bedroom room equipped with all the necessary things like air conditioning, heating supplies, and Wi-Fi, and of course you have your own privacy. So in my opinion, if you don't or you prefer to have your own room, I would say go for a single room.
Is happy with the answer. We have Mohammed Shaful Bashar. I'm unmuting him.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
So, hi, this is Shafiul from GBS Dubai. I applied before 1 month ago. So, I just want to know that I have completed my 2 semesters here. One I have completed and one is running. So, after completing this semester, can I transfer my admission to GBS Malta?
Which course are you doing at the moment?
Business Management, level 4.
You're doing a level 4.
Yeah.
I think it would be best if we take the case offline, because obviously I need to analyze all the documentation before I tell you for sure you can
Yeah,
or you
I
cannot.
applied, ma'am. I applied. I got the conditional offer letter. Once document I need to submit, that is English proficiency test. I didn't submit.
Okay. So if you received a conditional offer, that means you are eligible.
Mm-hmm. So I can start my courses from semester 3, right?
The conditional offer that you received, is it for April or October?
It's, for April.
So okay, so being very honest, if you haven't submitted your English test yet, that means you need to do it as soon as possible. So you might get a visa, because we are very close to April now. And
Mm-hmm.
if you need a visa, it might take you a few weeks to get the visa.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Can you repeat?
Yeah, of course. So I'm saying that the course is going to start in just over 4 weeks now. Well,
Mm-hmm.
five weeks or something. And if you haven't submitted your English test yet, I cannot guarantee you that you will get a visa, because we just have a few weeks, and usually if you have to apply for visa, it takes a few weeks until you actually get the visa.
Okay. Can I defer my application?
Absolutely, yeah. So
Yeah.
if you believe that you need more time, that you want to prepare yourself to take the test, or you just need more time in general, you can always defer your application, but you need to email us, please. So we have in writing that you want to defer the application.
So, ma'am, what about the job opportunities in GBS Malta? So, in Malta, basically in Dubai, there is not a, it's not a good place for student. So, yeah, I want to know about the job opportunities.
In Malta, when it comes to job opportunities, I mean, it's completely different. I mean, from Dubai, in the sense that number one, students can work 20 hours per week, and that is only throughout the studying period. Because of course, once you graduate, then of course you can change to full time, and then you can study as long as you want. But as I said, they start from hospitality industry. Normally, you are looking at front office, for example, in a hotel. It can be a 4-star, 5-star hotel, up to, for example, a marketing manager, marketing, for example, officer. So you will be responsible for the marketing campaign of that hotel per se. Or else there are jobs like duty manager, where you will be responsible of the hotel during that particular time. Normally, these are, for example, night shifts. Then there are very good opportunities in gaming industry, starting from customer service, which is the entry level job, up to, of course, fraud, for example, risk analysis, and those kind of jobs. They normally attract quite a good salary. We have a lot of good opportunities when it comes to jobs, when it comes to IT sector. As I said, there are Google offices in Malta. Artificial intelligence in Malta is also up and running. We also excel when it comes to the iGaming industry. So I think from that aspect, I mean, I'm pretty sure that if you come to Malta, you will realize the job opportunities here are quite huge.
Is GBS Malta have someone that they will help to arrange the job for students?
So, as I said, we will be getting here recruiting companies in order to help you find your best or your ideal job. Saying this, there are various websites in Malta. One of them is jobsinmalta.com, for example, where you can go on this portal and you will find the job offers that there are on a daily basis. I must say, this portal is updated daily because every day there are new vacancies available for both Maltese and also third country nationals. The good thing about working in Malta is that by law, when you start working in Malta, the employer needs to apply for what we call the work permit. And that in itself gives you access to stay in Malta for 1 year. So basically, the work permit overrides the visa. So if you manage to find a job, then we are no longer talking about visa, but we are talking about residence permit. This residence permit has also the strength to access 26 countries. So you can still travel together with this work permit. One thing to add on this work permit, if you decide to stop working with that company, the work permit will be revoked because normally it is the employer that applies for your work permit. But I'm pretty sure that if you once you come to Malta, within a matter of days, a matter of weeks, you will be able to have your first interviews with various companies because job opportunities are quite huge here.
Yeah.
I'll-
So, okay. You may
Alan,
proceed.
I think you also mentioned something that it's very important for the students to know that once they finish the course, right?
Yeah.
They still have some time to look for a job after they graduate, right?
Correct. So we have what we call PSW, which is the post-study work visa, and then Malta is currently at 9 months. So basically, once you graduate, together with the proof that, of course, you finished your course and you graduated, you can stay in Malta for a further 9 months, and those 9 months can give you access to either find a job in Malta, so start looking for something that you really want to do, either open your own business. One of the very good companies in Malta, thanks to the government and European funds, is Business First in Malta, which is an entity where you can go and they help you from A to Z of all the documents that you need in order to open your own business in Malta, ranging from the business plan, making appointments with the bank, how to pay financial loan, and so on. Or else you can just stay in Malta for 9 months. But then, if you don't want to work here or you don't want to open the business after those 9 months, you have to leave the country. I don't think the PSW in Malta will be that applicable for our students because, as I said, since you are going to start working at 20 hours per week, you will be given a work permit, and that work permit gives you access to stay in Malta for 1 year. One thing to say about working in Malta is that you cannot work from day one, but you have to wait for the first 90 days to pass. So after the first 90 days, you can start working. The work permit gives you access to stay in Malta for 1 year, and the work permit is renewed online by the employer for a further year. Normally, after 5 years, consecutive 5 years, you will be given a 5-year work permit. However, if you have a job that is considered as a very important job, so then you will be given a 2-year work permit after the first year, rather than having a work permit every year.
How much Malta pays to a student per hour? Do you have any idea?
So it depends again the job. I mean, you can find jobs that pay 8 euros an hour. You can find job that pay 15 euros an hour. You can find a job that pays 6 euros an hour. So it depends. But I would say the average rate should be somewhere around 8 euros an hour. Again, keep in mind that once you prove yourself to the company that you're reliable, you're a hard worker, Normally in Malta, there is this scheme that after 1 year, your salary will be reviewed. This is, in line with all the EU regulations. But I would suggest students not to take the first job that they can get, but keep looking and keep searching for that ideal job that they really want.
So I have one other question: is I can do my top up and masters at the same university, right?
I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, we don't offer top-ups at the moment. I think it's
Yeah.
just something very important for you to understand, because you haven't completed the first year of your university, and that's why you were you wanted to change from Dubai to Malta. But we don't offer just top-ups. So you either start from the first year of your bachelor's, or you finish your bachelor's and then you apply for a master's.
So it's a 2 years course or 3 years course?
Bachelor's 3 years, masters or MBAs, they are 1 year long only.
So my question is that I can complete my bachelor's at the same university at GBS Malta.
Yes, I mean, if you apply for a bachelor's, yeah,
Yeah.
if in
Yeah.
3 years you will finish the course.
See who I'm asking, that in GBS Dubai there is no like I
Oh,
can
I know.
complete my.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I know what you mean. No. So
You
if you apply
understand?
for a bachelor's, it's gonna take you
Mhm.
3 years, and when you graduate, you're gonna have a bachelor's degree.
Thank you so much.
All right.
You're welcome.
We'll move on to the next one. Sorry, a lot of people are on the line. Prashant, can I unmute you? Can you please try to get your doubt here? Prashant Bane. Okay. Have a lot of chat questions as well. A unique education. How many maximum study gaps you accept for bachelor's and master's degree program?
I'm not sure I completely understand the question, but I think years of how many years you can have like a gap. There's no really. So we sometimes we receive applicants and they are applying for a master's and they graduated in 2010, which is 13. It was 13 years ago, and it's fine. However, if you graduated uh, before 2017, you will need to complete an extra document, so we can send that to our partner Spa University, which we call Appel form. So basically, it's just a CV, but in a different format, because we want to know if you gain experience, if you gain relevant experience in the field that you wanted to study, so you can apply for a master's. But there's no maximum or minimum. It's fine.
Lucky Aeronofe. Any plans for someone coming with their spouse? Lucky, I'm unmuting you again. Can you try speaking up?
Hello, hi.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Two questions. One, I came in late into the room about the visa process and the accommodation proof. Well, that's by the way. Then secondly, if I'm coming with my spouse, what are the options? Like you said, you gave me a link, but I want to be sure because I don't think it will be a nice idea if I leave the country for 1 year and leave my spouse behind. It doesn't make sense. So I just want to know the best option I can have for that. Thanks.
So let me answer the question regarding the spouse. There is, of course, the option to bring your spouse or your family with you. The option is that they need to come here as a short stay visa, which is a 90-day visa. But there are two options how one can extend this 90-day visa. So either during this 90-day, one applies for an English language course, for example, with English Path, which is our English language school, and that can give you access to stay in Malta for further time. Of course, we will provide all the documents, and then you need to go to Identity Malta to extend this 90-day visa, or else within these 90 days, the person finds a job and the employer applies for the work permit, because the work permit will give the person access to stay in Malta every year and is also renewed every year. So there are these two things that one can do in order to keep his family with him during your studying period.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm grateful.
You're welcome. I know there was a question from Sondi regarding host family accommodation. It is also a very good option. We offer it as well. As I said, we have apartments, residence, and also host family. Keep in mind that when staying with a family, there are some certain rules and regulations that one needs to follow. One of them, for example, is you cannot actually use the kitchen because this is a kitchen that belongs to the family. But the good thing about staying with a family is that you're actually living the cultural way of how Maltese families live. You are eating the same food that the family eats, and you are also practicing your English together with the family because probably in the evening you are all sitting down on the sofa watching a movie together, and you can share your daily experience with the family. It is a good option, Sandy. I normally recommend it for people under the age of 18 because I think that anyone over the age of 18 normally wants a bit of more privacy. But happy to arrange a host family accommodation with you if you think that this is an option that you can stay.
Hasi, you are on mute.
Yes, press the mic button.
Yeah, yeah. Alan and Marian, as we had talked earlier, like you guys told that we are going to connect. May I know at what time we'll be connecting? Because it is really being frustrating for me to go through this process, because already I've said you that I have called international calls n number of times. There was no response from the GBS Malta who can help me out with my visa process, because there is my counselor. He's doing his best. His name is Harshit. He's doing his best, and it is something that some department will be having some certain limitations. So when it comes to my counselor Harshit, I think he is having some kind of what we'll say limitations regarding the visa issues. So it could be great because my what we'll say my classes are going to start going to be get started by 22nd of April, and I have booked the flight for the 23rd of April. So it is something like I have to fill the form. Like I have gone through the premium membership from the Malta, from the GBS Malta only. I have got the link and I have got the references. The only one thing that I'm lagging, that is I have to fill the form of visa, and another thing is some kind of GDFP something from these two forms. I want to fill these forms as soon as possible, because from today morning I have called n number of times and none of the guys has responded to my calls. It is some
Hasi,
yeah.
sorry to interrupt this conversation, but at the end of this webinar, because I believe there are other students that maybe have questions to ask, we will be sharing in the chat the email address, and you can send your questions in that email address, and my colleagues will be happy to help you straight away. I mean, I think the webinar has like 5-10 minutes more, so if you can wait just 10 minutes and then we share the email there, and please feel free to send us an email.
Prashant, I have an experience of 12 years plus, applied for an MBA in leadership October intake. Is this course designed for experienced people?
Yes, actually, a work experience, it is one of the entry requirements. So an MBA, it is for students that they already have a bachelor. Sometimes they already have a master's as well. They have work experience, and I mean relevant work experience. So they have management experience, and now they want an MBA just to really enhance that work experience.
I have in. I hope Prashant that helps because we unmuted you, but I think you are unable to disable the mic. Envision guest, I have unmuted you as well. Could you please speak?
Okay, my name is Shanawaz. I applied for admission in last week of February, but I haven't got my any offer or any decision on my application yet. I'm using my counselor's meeting ID. So I was worried, and I visited him today and to check the status of my application. It is still, he said, it is still pending with the Malta office.
Again, I don't know every single application by heart of course, but again, we can take these offline, and then I can have a look into your applications, see what exactly is the status, what are the pending documents, and so we can process, carry on with the application.
Okay, thank you very much.
No
I will
worries.
Welcome.
I was going to say, yeah, so Alan said that he's going to share the admissions email here. So just email. I'm still working for another 4 hours before we finish today. So just email me as soon as we finish the webinar, and then I'll get back to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Opportunity in construction industry after completion of and last question we have from Prashant Bane, a job opportunities in construction industry after completion of program.
Job opportunity in construction. This is a very good point. Malta at the moment is booming when it comes to construction. I think if I had to take a picture outside of the campus, you will see like 4 construction sites going on. The reason being is because, of course, there are a lot of business centers coming up, but as I said, population in Malta consists of 650,000. 20% of this population consists of non-Maltese people. So because we have all these foreign people coming here for work purposes, studying purposes, or even to relocate, of course, there is the boom of construction. So now we are building more flats, more apartments, more high-rise building in order to accommodate all this demand. So in terms of construction industry, that is a very easy question to answer. You will definitely find something regarding to construction.
Okay, thanks. Education. How about education industry by Sondes?
Now, Sondes, education industry is also a good point. In Malta, because I know that your background is related to English language schools. So in Malta, we have a total of 35 licensed language schools, which are all, for example, crying and looking for teachers with such qualification like CELTA, for example. So in that aspect, again, you will definitely find something. I think, in my opinion, we can also, make use of for example, teaching industry, but also, for example, the education industry. There are other opportunities, like, for example, working within the administration kind of thing. So you have, of course, to let us know what exactly you're looking for. But I can tell you, for example, in terms of teaching positions, everybody is looking for teachers. In terms of admissions, for example, with universities, for example, they're all looking for these kind of positions. I mean, keep in mind that the education sector in itself is quite a big sector in Malta as well.
I have all the hands raised down. Anyone else who wants to? I think we are almost overdue with 15 minutes. So we should end the webinar right now. We will keep having this every week. So guys, don't worry. Your questions will be addressed. If not, we can also respond on emails for you. Thank you so much, Alan. Thank you so much,
You're
Mariana.
welcome.
Oh, thank you.
It was a pleasure having this webinar. Any questions you have, I shared the email address of our admissions team, so please feel free to send any questions over there.
Thank you guys for coming
Thank
in,
you.
taking some time
Have a
out.
good weekend, everyone.
Have a good weekend.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good
Thank you.
weekend. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Is there a system here?